Now, this to me could most possibly be the most annoying type of insecurity that a woman has that will turn off almost every single guy out there, no matter how beautiful you are. And it's all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex, your toxic dating coach. And today we're going to be talking about 24 female insecurities that turn men off. All right. We're going to be going over we're gonna be going over the source of human insecurity, what is not considered insecurity in this realm. There's levels of insecurities that I need to differentiate. What is good insecurities and what is bad insecurity, which is the last part. We're gonna talk about what insecurity it is, but we're gonna talk about the good kind of insecurity, the insecurity that you need. It's almost like bacterias, right? You have good bacterias and then you have bad bacterias. We can't lump them all together. Okay, we need to learn to differentiate both of them. All right. So let's talk about this. And this was from a client that I had that worked with me, and she purchased a 25 from Patreon. She purchased a $25 question, and she asked me to make this video. So I'm making this video right now. So remember, the source of human insecurity. Humans all come with insecurities, which means, evolutionarily speaking, the human that didn't have insecurity didn't pass their genes, right? Not having insecurity doesn't mean ultimate confidence. Confidence comes through competence and practice and seeing tangible results. Other than that, any confidence that does not have actions and accomplishments behind it is just grandiosity, all right? So humans all come with insecurity. Evolutionarily, it was beneficial. We all have the need, and the reason why is because we all have a need to move up in the ladder, in a social ladder. We all feel a certain lack inside of us, and the reason why is because it helps us move forward. It helps us think more creatively. Having insecurities helps us think creatively. Our ancestors' insecurities led them to invent, tools to kill fucking tigers, fucking spears. Our insecurities led us to work together. Our insecurities led us to develop language. We needed to communicate. So insecurities are important. We cannot throw the baby with the bathwater, okay? Insecurities happen to every single one of us. And the reason why is because the reason why it's beneficial is because, one, it allows us to self-reflect, right? Anytime, and guys are a perfect example of that. Guys, you'll notice that a lot of the most successful men came as a result of something negatively happening in their lives, and it drove them to succeed, right? So it drives them towards self-improvement, and also, since we're social animals, insecurities lets us know when the group is actually kind of mad at us, when we're not fitting in. And back in our ancestors, if they didn't fit in with the tribe, they were isolated, and it meant most likely that they will die. Right? So that desire to fit in, that desire to be part of the group is not a bad insecurity. Social pressures and peer pressure is actually a social force that's meant to help the whole. It allows everybody to work together a lot better, right? And that drive to want to fit in, to make people like us, in reality comes because if you didn't have that, your ancestors wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. It's important to do that. Right? It's just one of those embarrassing things. So the issue is with insecurity is when it becomes toxic, almost like cancerous. It's okay for cells to multiply, but it's bad when cells multiply to the point where they cannot control themselves. And that's what we're talking about. It's an overpowering, compulsive insecurity that turns men off, right? So let's talk about what is not insecurity. One, appropriate amount of jealousy in a relationship is not insecurity. Right? Because if you're not insecure, the ancestors that didn't feel jealousy for their mate lost their mate. They lost it, right? The ancestors that passed their genes were very protective of their mate. If you don't have that, if you don't have jealousy for your partners when you feel like they're somebody's trying to take them from you, then it just means that most likely you're gonna lose them. You need to have a little bit of jealousy. It's okay to have some insecurity, right? Another thing that's not insecurity is promiscuity. A lot of women think that just because women nowadays have more sex than back then, it meant that they're insecure. No, promiscuity is all within context. So if you live in fucking Africa and everybody bangs one or two dudes for their whole lives, and here you are, Jenny from the block, banging five dudes, all of a sudden you are very promiscuous. But if you go to fucking Sweden, where it's a very social, where it's a socialist country, which leads to women being more promiscuous, and you're a fucking Becca the white girl, all right, and you bang 20 dudes like in your last 20 years and stuff like that, right? And then all of your other friends bang 20 dudes. You're not promiscuous relatively. You really are not. You're normal, right? So it's all relativism. How you judge promiscuity. And the next thing is that insecurities coming from a bad history with a certain partner is actually a protective mechanism. It's telling you to leave that person. That's why you're so vigilant of them. It's telling you to leave that person. That insecurity is there to tell you you gotta leave, not stay and try to fix them. You're not goddamn Bob the Builder. You know what I'm saying? And hey, wait a minute, the lady says, ladies gotta fix Tyrone. Tyrone needs help. Tyrone needs fixing. Yeah, that's right. If you see some imperfection in me, don't listen to the Lexus. Help me, fix me, because I need help. Anyways, I gotta go. Anyways, that means don't fix the guy, okay? Insecurities about, another thing is that insecurities about our bodies, that it's natural, right? I'm 5'9", 5'10" with shoes, 5'8.75" in my license, right? And I'm insecure about that. But as I've grown with age, I've grown comfortable with it. Those types of insecurities, like you're not that tall, you may have a little bit of a big nose, whatever, right? It's natural. It's not chronic insecurity. It's like it's a natural part of life, and that doesn't turn men off. In fact, some people find it endearing. You see what I'm saying? So that's not what I'm talking about. And a lot of women, struggle with that, but, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? Now, let's talk about the bad insecurities, the 24 insecurities that you guys have to watch out for, okay? Now, before we begin, I want you guys to check out my courses that I have for sale. It's called Natural Chemistry, which you see right here. It's a course specifically for women who are in relationships and who want to strengthen the bond that they have with their partner, who pretty much, if you struggle with relationships in general, this is the course for you. I teach you how to stand up for yourself, how to set boundaries, how to seem more attractive and stuff like that. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee for all of them. The next one is a psychological game of attraction, which is for single women who want to learn the dating game. If you're newly single, if you just got divorced, right there, if you just got your ass dumped and kicked to the curb, that's the course for you. 30-day money back guarantee as well. You can check it out for free by clicking on the description down below. The first one is excessive jealousy. Okay? Excessive jealousy to the point that you have to control their phones, that anytime a girl, even a man smiles at your man, you think he's trying to bang him, right? It's okay to have some jealousy, but excessive jealousy to the point where you become obsessed with the person, to the point that you need to control their lives, that type of stuff will make any man want to run away from you. And any man that stays with you, even if you're doing that man is also toxic. It's plain and simple. And one of the reasons why you might feel excessive jealousy is because you stayed with somebody who betrayed you. Or who betrayed your trust. And so your brain actually you felt so much excessive and overpowering jealousy that it's almost like it got imprinted in your brain to consistently feel that. It's almost like a trauma, to be honest with you. The next one is needing 24/7 attention. That means you text him all the time. That means you don't leave the guy alone. That means you always want to be with him. You get offended when he doesn't want to be with you, when he wants his own space. That type of stuff, I don't care how hot you are. I'm kicking you out of my house if you always consistently need to be with me. I need some goddamn space. And I'm not going to judge couples who always need to be with each other. If it works for you guys, that's fine. But you got to be able to turn it off. Because some people don't like that. And some people are not even aware they're doing it because that's such a normal part of their life. They think that's how relationships really are. The next type of insecurity is the desire to speed things up. This will make a guy think you're fucking desperate. This will make a guy think something's wrong with you. Needing to speed things up, needing for the, hey, what are we now? Like, I've had women do that to me, man. And when women do that to me, man, it's look, man. I understand. I have empathy, right? So I don't judge them too harshly. But it pretty much is an insight into their character, pretty much essentially. So never speed things up. If you notice that the relationship is not going where you want to, take steps back. That's how it always should be. Not standing up for yourself. This is something that I cover a lot in my course, Natural Chemistry. Not standing up for yourself. When a guy clearly does something bad, guys will test you. Every guy will test you. Just like dogs and every other animal. Every other animal that's submissive to you, even animals that actually obey you 100%, from time to time, they will test you periodically to see whether or not they can get something from you, because every animal is trying to raise up in the ladder of the tribe. They're always trying to raise up their status. So people will always try to test you. So men will disrespect you to see whether or not you stand up for yourself, to see whether or not you're somebody worthy of respecting. And if you don't stand up for yourself, that guy will lose respect for you, and he may not leave you, but it'll encourage him to disrespect you more. The next one is obsessive need from others and partners. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a girl who I met on Instagram where she's a bad bitch and stuff like that. I meet her in person and she's always on her phone. She's always looking at the guys commenting on her status. She's always talking about how many likes she got. It's fucking pathetic. I'm just being honest. It is pathetic, okay? And I understand the source of it, and so because they're humans, okay? I'm not gonna judge you too harshly, but it is pathetic. All right, and the reason why is because you just don't see it. You're so in this world. You're almost like in you're so looking at yourself so much that you don't even notice how it comes across to people, right? That kind of stuff makes every guy get turned off from you. They may stay with you, but they will get turned off and lose a little respect to you. The next one is self-obsessed, which kind of goes with the same one. Oh, putting obsessed. Look. It's normal for a man. It's normal. Studies show that women spend twice as long on their appearance than men do. So a woman taking twice as long to get dressed, it's normal. I don't see it as insecure. Why? Because a man who takes the same amount of time as women do, like getting ready, it's actually they're not looked as normal. Like, remember, everything's about context. Everything's about what others do. Men who spend the same amount of time as women spend getting ready, they're looked as narcissistic and self-obsessed. It's kind of funny how that works, but that's just the facts, how things are. But if you go over that time, if you go excessively self-obsessed, excessively just, like having your photo on your screen, it's like you don't know how you look. Look, I've done that before too, okay? But the truth is that people see that and they do judge you for it. They think that's kind of crazy, right? They may not leave you for this, but it's almost like a dent in the armor in their minds. People want to feel like you're confident with yourself. People want to feel like they're with somebody who's at ease with themselves, okay? If they feel like you are very insecure, it's not that they'll stop loving you, but a part of them deep down, they will kind of like lose a little respect for you. It's unfair, but that's just how humans are. The next one is fear of losing the guy. When you have so much fear of losing the guy that you let them disrespect you. Every person feels when you have fear of losing them. And when they feel that deep, and the way they see this, because one, you express it, all right? You talk about it. Never, two, they disrespect you and you're still there. They leave and you beg to get them back. That kind of stuff makes every guy, he'll come back. Even if you beg, he'll come back. But he's not going to respect you. And let me tell you something. Above all things, above giving the poom poom, above getting married, above all of that bullshit, what matters most is gaining a person's respect, even if you never see them again. That is the most important thing. The next thing, and this I got from my website, it's called Get the X Back. So you can check it out. I'm going to read verbatim, so if you read it, if you hear me say this, you can literally type it and find it. You feel the constant need to, or you constantly do go through your significant other's phone. All right? That kind of stuff, any guy that accepts that has problems too. Has problems with boundaries. And also, any guy that accepts that is doing it because also they might be able to do it to you. You do not want to do any social activities without your significant other. Lord have mercy. Talk about attachment styles, right? That's called having an anxious style of attachment. Sometimes you do that because you're afraid of the guy cheating on you because he cheated on you before. Sometimes you do that just to check up on him. Oh, the worst ones, and I know some friends like that who fucking who put an app on the girl's phone and track her without knowing it. That's the worst one. You do not want your significant others to do any social activities without you. You do not want your significant other to do. Okay. You often worry about your significant other's previous partners, right? You're asking how she looked. You're always comparing yourself to the partner, and it gets in the way because you're consistently comparing yourself. It kind of like, it just messes up your vibe. A guy can feel it. Always remember this, the self is always coming through. You want to know the passwords to your significant other's accounts. That's toxic. You don't need to do that. You often cry when you or your significant other get into confrontation, right? Another one is acting like the victim, developing a victim mindset. I actually wrote this right here because I found it very interesting. 1 second. Fuck. This bitch now wants to tell me she wants to hang out. Sorry. This girl... An example is the victim mentality. Dogs learn that dogs that fake being sick or fake like having a limp, right? For example, some dogs get an injury, and when they get an injury, they limp. But they also notice that because they limp, they get more treats from their owner. And what happens is that even though the dog is fully healed, that dog will continue to act like the fucking victim that he is, right? All because it wants food, right? Let me show you an example of this, right? Dog fake limp food. Let me show you an example of this, right? Watch, look. They do that. Right? You see that? You see a little faker, right? A little victim, right? They do that because they learn that if you act like the victim, you actually get rewarded, right? So they walk as though they're hurt to get more treats. Same thing with people. When they are rewarded for being victims, they learn that's how they get attention, right? So you have the victim mindset, and the attention that they get is any kind of attention. It could be negative or positive. So those people will just gaslight you, essentially, right? So yeah, that's negative. You often fear losing your significant other, which goes into the fear of loss. You often fear that your significant other may try to find somebody else, right? Because one, it may have happened to you, right? Or two, you've done it before also. Okay? And I'll be honest with you, I think this insecurity is normal. But if you feel that without having any evidence of the guy ever doing that, that is because you've been traumatized and your brain is constantly on alert because it doesn't want to relive the memory that it experienced. You want to know where your significant other is at all time, which comes into play when people actually start tracking their partner's phone. You fear your significant other interacting with anyone else is dateable. And I'll say this is a very normal thing with humans. Every human animal will assume that the person that they like, for example, if you're talking to a guy and you don't like him and he's in your class, as an example, you're not going to assume that talking to Becky means she's trying to bang him. But as soon as you like Tyrone, all of a sudden Becky talking to him means Becky's trying to bang Tyrone. Why? Because now you value him. Now he's important to you. And as a result, any threat, any smile from a woman, you're going to interpret it as him liking you. For example, men, when a woman smiles at a man, men interpret it as maybe she wants sex, right? And women seeing that woman smile at that man will assume that it's friendly. Women have a completely different view of smiles. But my suspicion, there's no research on this, is that if that woman likes that man, and now all of a sudden that bitch is smiling at her man, all of a sudden that's not a normal smile no more. Now she wants to bang him. Why? Because now you like him. You get what I'm trying to say? The next one is you text, call, email, etc. your significant other consistently with little or no replies. Now you're just a psycho. Okay? Especially those people who text back fast and who double, triple, quadruple text just because you don't get a response. I'm like, bitch, I'm sleeping. Like, goddamn, girl, let me sleep. Let me relax. You often question whether your significant other is lying to you. And this happens because you've stayed with liars in the past, or you had parents who were lying to you consistently. So you kind of are constantly on alert mode, right? You often question whether your significant other is lying to you. You want to feel consistently reassured about your relationship, right? And these are all normal things, but to want it excessively, right? To always need to get some form of validation from your guy, you gotta let them do it to you. It has to come from within. You cannot fish for those types of. And there's nothing wrong with fishing compliments. This is more about obsessiveness. You guilt trip your partner when they do not call you or do not quickly return your phone calls and texts, right? I've stopped talking to a few family members because they did this to me, right? I had an aunt who just kept calling and calling because she's like my mother, to be honest with you. But I'm not a talker. I'm not somebody who likes to talk on the phone, and sometimes I take a long time to respond back. And so she just would text me for fucking 20 messages straight. And I stopped talking to her because I was like, yo, you're either gonna have to wait till I text back or we're not gonna talk no more. We stopped talking for like a whole year because of that. For a whole year. We're back to normal now, we're cool, but she understands my boundaries now. And if you do this, you have to understand boundaries. You're too self-obsessed. You're not looking at how the other person feels. You apologize as a mean to avoid conflict for small things, especially those people who apologize for everything. I had a girl who told me she wants to hang out. She came, and she was gonna come over at 2, right? And another girl was gonna come over at 2 p.m. And I was like, you better come on time because you guys are synchronized, okay? Anyways, a girl came, but this girl didn't come. She came at 5 p.m. I told her to go home. I was like, go home. I don't even want to see you. Because I got pissed off. We were tired. We were like, we didn't even want to fuck no more, damn, right? I was just pissed off at this. Anyway, so she was apologizing. She was like, my bad, I didn't mean to do that. And one day I invited her back anyways. And then she texted me. She was like, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to see you again, to Alexis. And I'm like, I'm not seeing her no more. Like she was like, I'm so sorry for doing that. Like, excessive apologizing is a big fucking turnoff. Okay? And the last one is you're overly critical or overanalyze everything you say or do on a regular basis. Now, this is more towards you. Okay? There's nothing wrong with analyzing yourself, analyzing your flaws. It's another thing when it's compulsive and self-obsessive. It's very difficult to tell what's compulsive and normal because that's your world that you're living in. You don't know the difference. You get what I'm trying to say? So if you want to be able to have more self-knowledge about yourself, you got to go see a therapist. You got to go see a therapist. You got to get somebody else's perspective and give you a different point of view because you will never be able to see these things on your own. It's just how things are. Okay? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If anybody wants to work with me one-on-one, go to the link below. It says work with me one-on-one. Because if you don't, I'm closing this channel. All right? I swear to you, I will do it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay toxic. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you guys to check out my new course called Nice Girl. It's available for purchase right now. Okay? This course I specifically made for women who consider themselves nice, for women who are too forgiving, for women who let other people guilt trip them easily, for women who always give people the benefit of the doubt but always end up getting played. This course will teach you about people's actual manipulations, about the strategies that people use to extort from you, to take from you without you getting anything in return. Because nice people are in abundance in the world. And nice people, unfortunately, if they allow their nature to guide their lives, they will become bitter because they'll end up seeing that their niceness never leads to anything. So the goal of being a nice person is to get people to like you. But sometimes it has actual backward effects. Like it actually creates what you're trying to avoid. So this course will teach nice girls how to get what they want through being more assertive, how to express themselves, how to not get played, how to identify manipulation, how to reverse manipulation. So if you're somebody who's always had that consistently in their lives, who are always people pleaser, who are always being passive aggressive, this course will teach you how to communicate All of those things that you want to communicate with people without getting played. Okay, I'll teach you how to be more assertive. I'll teach you how to identify disrespect, because when you're a nice person, you have a hard time understanding when people are being disrespectful, because you're seeing the world through insecurity. You want to be liked, and so when somebody doesn't like you, you sort of twist it around in a weird way. So I show you how to see disrespect. I show you how to stand up for yourself. I show you how to deter aggressors. I show you how to avoid sending signs of weakness, and how to send signs of strength. Right? And I even show you a meditation on how to become more assertive. Check it out. It's a course that it's not a super long course, because I made it that length for a reason. I don't want to overburden you with too much information. This is just straight to the point. If you watch this course, you will get the results. This is not a 5-hour course. Okay, this is like a 2.5-hour course. So I think it's 2 hours or something like that. And the reason why that is because it's straight to the point. Okay, so if you watch that course, do what the videos say. You will over time overcome your niceness. Okay, purchase it now. In the description down below, you'll see where it says "Purchase Nice Girl." It's only $99, and there's a 30-day money back guarantee. No questions asked. You'll get your money back. Okay, because if you don't get it back, I'm closing the channel. That's for sure. All right, so I'll see you guys inside, and I hope you.